Sunday Meditation, March 7th, 1982. LL Research channeling Hatonn and Latwii. Unknown channeling. I am Hatonn, and I greet you, my brothers and sisters, in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. My friends, it is our great pleasure to perform this small service of addressing you this evening. And it is our desire that it be known that if our service be desired at any time by any member or members of this group, you need only ask. Mentally request our presence, and we shall be with you. My friends, tonight we would share with you a few thoughts on the subject of purity. It is difficult to conceive of purity within the realm of your illusion. For as your illusion is permeated with indecision, as your illusion is the point at which the individual must select correction, elect to polarize in one direction or the other, there is a strong tendency to accept a proximity to purity as the totality itself. At this point, my brothers and sisters, the question occurs to a number of you: what type of purity is being discussed? My friends, in using the word purity, we refer to the non-resistance to the outward reflectance of light from the individual. As you well know, every molecule, every atom, every portion of substance within your universe, being a facet of the Creator, is imbued with the light of the Creator and is capable of projecting that light in all directions. However, the influence of the individual, individualized consciousness, which organizes the various molecules into a physical vehicle for the purpose of experiencing this density, exerts a controlling influence over the amount of light emitted from the total vehicle. More briefly, my friends, you have the ability to restrict the amount of light which you are capable of emitting. The ramification of this act is that the energy level of your planetary sphere is being controlled by those entities upon that sphere, yourselves. And in restricting the amount of spiritual light and energy which you are capable of exuding, you reduce the amount of energy and therefore the vibratory level of your surroundings. When taken in terms of your race, the effect is to reduce the vibratory level of your planet, which results in the physical and emotional traumas that your planet and its populace continually experience. My friends, the statement in your holy texts which decry the attempt to hide one's light beneath a basket refer to this type of choice. It is within the realm of your abilities to restrict the light energy that you would choose to return to the Creator. It is also within the realms of your ability to restrict your own growth and that of your brothers and sisters. My friends, we are aware that on your planet there is pressure from those about you to conform, to avoid standing out in a crowd. But we would request that you consider whether there is a greater service to be performed in being willing to be brave enough to allow your light to shine forth fully. This service that you would perform for your brothers and sisters, in attempting this in your day-to-day actions, is immense. For there is no being in existence who is capable of resisting the beneficial effects of this action. We would suggest, dear friends, that this be an object of consideration as you live within the confines of your illusion. At this time, it is our desire to transfer this contact to another instrument that we may accomplish the exercising of those who have made themselves available for this purpose. I am Hatonn. Unknown channeling. I am Hatonn, and I am now with this instrument. I greet you once again in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. Within your illusion, one who stands out from the crowd is often isolated, scorned, ignored. But each is unique. Each has their own rate of growth. Each has the choice. As you progress, you will find that at times you will be alone in the crowd. For as you grow and gain knowledge, become more aware, that which you have learned will be harder and harder to hide. You shall find that you will be more content with your particular place upon your planet. Each works upon oneself, each self inaudible. As you become more aware, you begin to see that though they are experiencing difficulties in relating to others on the planet, that they also become closer, for they will begin to see that which makes them and others one in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Though you will experience difficulties, they will be but lessons in the acceptance of others, but mainly acceptance of self. The light is ever within. Without, it is all things, and it will shine, it will glow. As one becomes more aware of its presence, the knowledge that you gain, increasingly guided, inaudible, feels more and more comfortable within your being. My friends, as you grow, as you sit within meditation, allow yourself to feel. Experience the light. Allow it to glow. Be that which is you. Allow yourselves to be. My friends, we are with you and shall be whenever asked. For we wish in whatever humble way we can to aid you as you search, as you seek to experience, as you become aware and grow. For we are one with you, as all is one. Inaudible. You're not. We are known to you as Hatonn. We will now leave this group so that another of the Confederation may be with you. I am Hatonn. Carla, channeling. I am Latwii. I greet you, my friends, in the love and in the light of the infinite Creator. We speak briefly through this instrument in order to thank each of you for the privilege of being allowed to share our humble thoughts with you, and with our brothers and sisters of Laitos and Hatonn, to offer as wide a variety of the types of Confederation energizing which we can at this time. We are aware that there are those of you who would wish to use this vibration for aid in deepening the meditative state. Others who simply wish to feel the sensation of our presence. Others who are working to become vocal channels. Please take from this band of vibrations that which you personally would find most helpful. We shall pause at this time and pass among you, that you may become aware of our presence and may be aided insofar as we may aid you with our vibrations. I am Latwii. I am Latwii, and am again with this instrument. We are sorry that we are heating some of you up. We will attempt to adjust for your comfort, and close the message through this instrument that we may transfer to another. We would like for you to notice that we are not shouting through this instrument. We are very proud because we have finally figured out how to do that. My friends, we would offer only a few foolish thoughts which we would ask you not to take any more seriously than necessary. We would like for you to think of what has been said by the brothers and sisters of Hatonn. The concept of purity is one which pertains not to all of those foolish things that your peoples find so interesting, but rather to a quality which is as simple as light. If you will gaze out of your window, my friends, in the early morning hours, you will find the tiny crocuses moving upwards towards the still cool spring sun. They are pure. You will find the squirrels chasing the birds from the seed you have put out, their bright eyes darting back and forth, their tails moving quickly and cleverly as they maintain their balance. You hear the song of the birds, and all these things, my friends, are pure. They are pure because they are not conscious of themselves. They are creatures of the creation of the Father, and they are what they are, without question. But my friends, have you not been given a complicated task? To find again that beingness, that feeling of being a part of the creation with no effort while you are conscious of yourself? Your greatest task, my friends, is to stay out of your own way, for that which you are will shine, and all that might obstruct it is that which you might do. Some obstruct the light on purpose, but my friends, many others, in their efforts to increase their helpfulness, actually confuse the quality of that vibration of beingness, which we have so often described to you as the original thought of the one infinite Creator. You are already a being of perfect love and light. To stay out of your way is a tremendous service to yourself and to others. With all of the intelligence and analysis that you can produce through the time of your incarnation, cannot yield up one more iota of light than is the totality of your being to begin with. So, my friends, go within and trust that that which you are to be or do is least of all a function of that mind which analyzes, and far more truly a function of your ability to feel comfortable being one who is loved totally by the Creator. If you are loved, you can then love, no matter what other function you may have in this illusion. Love, my friends, is the heart of your gift to those about you and to yourself. We are very happy to have used this instrument. We do not often receive the requisite amount of call to offer a little sermon, but are most grateful to you for allowing us to share these thoughts with you. We would now transfer the contact to another instrument in order that we might attempt to field any questions that you might have at this time. I leave this instrument in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. I am Latwii. Jim, channeling. I am Latwii and am with this instrument, and greet you all once again in love and light. May we at this time attempt to answer any questions which those present might have for us. Questioner. Latwii, I have a question. If you are willing to, I would like for you to give me some feedback on the effectiveness of the channeling on the Friday night sessions, specifically the accuracy of the channeling. Latwii. I am Latwii, and am aware of your question, my brother. May we say in this regard that your attempts to be of service during your meditations on the evenings have been quite successful. We have been very pleased with the quality of thoughts transmitted and received by your group. We have found an unusually receptive audience at your Friday evening gatherings, and for this reason have been able to provide information which has been called for and which has been transmitted with accuracy. May we answer you further, my brother? Questioner. Is there any advice you could offer as to the manner in which we could improve? Latwii. I am Latwii and am aware of your question, my brother. In this regard, may we say that the seeking, the desire of each entity within your group is that quality which, when taken as a unit, is responsible for the quality of both your meditation and the information which is received. The desire which has caused this group to be formed is of a high quality. Therefore, to suggest the improvement of tuning, shall we say, this desire might be, at this time, too much to ask. For we feel each does present to the group the fullest amount of desire and will to seek the one Creator, which is possible at this time, though it is always the nature of the pilgrim to continue the journey in ever a greater degree of depth and purity. And this refining of your purity shall, we are certain, also continue. May we answer you further, my brother? Questioner. You have answered me fully. Thank you. Latwii. I am Latwii. We are most grateful to you. Is there another question at this time? Questioner. Are you the same entity that has been contacting us in Nova Scotia and our group leader? Latwii. I am Latwii and am aware of your question, my sister. We of Latwii have had the privilege of making contact with your group on some few occasions. We of Latwii have not been able to make contact with many groups upon your planet, for the information which we have to offer is not often sought by such groups as this. We have been honored to join you on these occasions, of which you are familiar, and do offer our thanks and our appreciation for this opportunity. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner. No, we offer our thanks to you for joining us. Latwii. I am Latwii. We see that there is a great abundance of joy and thanksgiving, and for this we offer additional thanks. May we answer yet another question at this time? Carla. I had a question that occurred to me while you were speaking through me, and I just wondered. You were speaking of purity, and you said something about the purity. The way people think of purity on this planet isn't very helpful. I guess what most people think of as purity has to do with living. Side 1 of the tape recording the session ends here, we pick up on side 2 with Carla continuing her question. Is not actual purity, or that it is not conducive to the development of actual purity, or that it is just not relevant, or what? Latwii. I am Latwii, and am aware of your question, my sister. May we say that, in general, you have expressed some degree of our perception of purity. Those of your people who have considered the concept of purity have quite frequently chosen to whittle away at their being in order to find the purity which they sense must be achieved by the removing of, shall we say, the catalysts of your illusion. By this we mean to say that the world which surrounds the self is too often seen as being of no value, and is too often removed from the experience of the entity, so that the entity seeking purity does isolate the self in what might be described as rigid and strict guidelines and frameworks and perceptions of the way purity must be expressed. This, of course, is the free will of each entity and does have the lessons to teach. The concept of purity, which we have perceived as being, shall we say, more natural in its beingness, is that concept which recognizes that you are pure and perfect as you are, without removing any ingredient from your experience. That indeed, each experience about you has a value to you, for it can teach you. And you, a pure and perfect expression of the one Creator, are quite capable of learning each lesson that is made available to you by the world in which you find yourself immersed. We do not, in our perception, see a need for living what might be called the monkish existence of the ascetic. For this type of perception quite frequently does further confuse the seeker. For if the world about one is seen to have no value, then part of the Creator is seen to have no value. If the entity is aware of the self as part of the Creator, the feeling of worthlessness then does intrude upon the consciousness and the perception of the entity seeking union with the Creator, which has part of its being that is of no value. We instead would suggest the seeing of the Creator within all creation, within each other self that one encounters in the daily round of activities, and within the self as well. And we further suggest the attempt to discover the value of each experience, the lesson which does wait within each experience, which will point ever more accurately to the heart of your being which you seek, the heart of your being which is perfect, which is pure, and which, when allowed to express itself to its fullest, will purely reflect the one infinite Creator. May we answer you further, my sister? Carla. I think I understand pretty much exactly what you're saying, Latwii. What you're saying is, for instance, instead of removing sex from one's life, as do monks, you would instead request of yourself the most careful search for the Creator and the truest of love within this experience. And instead of removing money from the experience, you would instead accept whatever amount of supply that you had within your station of life and see what you could do with that money to be of service as a part of the creation. Is this what you're saying? Latwii. I am Latwii. My sister, we have indeed attempted to express thoughts similar to these. We would also add that we cannot speak specifically for any entity, for each must make these choices as a result of the free will, and in this regard, we can only speak in general and express these thoughts which you have accurately reflected. May we answer you further, my sister? Carla: No, thank you, Latwii. That was very inspiring. Latwii: I am Latwii. We are most grateful to you as well. Is there another question at this time? Questioner: I'm curious about angels. Are there angels or beings that can be helpful to us if we request it? That can help take care of us or guard us or be with us to lend support and love if we request it? I've always felt there were. I'm just curious. Latwii: I am Latwii and am aware of your question, my sister. There are beings within the inner planes, shall we say, of this planetary influence which many of your peoples have described as being of an angelic nature. For their nature has been perceived as of great and intense love and light. These beings do serve, shall we say, as guardians for entities upon this planetary sphere. Each entity upon this planet has a number of such angelic presences which have, as their honor and duty, the guidance of individuals who have incarnated within this third density illusion. Each entity may, therefore, call upon a variety of beings which reside within the inner planes. Each entity may determine the means by which the call is made, and the light and the being is invoked. It may be a simple ritual, a prayer, a meditation, a simple sentence mentally asking assistance. It is helpful for each entity desiring this assistance to meditate upon the guides and beings which are in charge, shall we say, of the protection of the entity. Attempt then in your meditation to discern some aspects of the entity whose assistance you seek. Whatever aspect you are able to perceive, be it their form, their face, their color, shall we say, their tone, their quality, or their purpose, use this aspect as a part of your calling for their assistance. When this technique of seeking their nature is refined to such a great enough extent, you may receive additional descriptions, shall we say, of such beings, and may eventually come to know their name and their form, and be able to call them by the visualization of either. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner: Are they allowed to work with us, or must we request it? What form of aid are they allowed to give? Latwii: I am Latwii and am aware of your question, my sister. The assistance which such beings render is that assistance which is called for by the entity, either consciously or subconsciously. Each entity upon this planet does call for some type of assistance, whether it is consciously recognized and verbalized, or whether it be subconsciously expressed. Each calling is answered. The degree of desire, the conscious seeking and strengthening of this desire is that key which shall determine how the call is answered. Many calls, shall we say, are answered in sleep and dreams, providing inspiration and answers to problems. Many calls are answered by intuitive hunches or inspirations of the moment, which seem to occur and appear out of the blue, shall we say. Other answers are of what might be called the coincidental or synchronistic nature, where you may wish to proceed along a certain path, to undertake a certain activity, and do not know exactly how it shall be done. And within a short period of time, an answer appears in the form of another self with a proposal, or with a part of your solution, or a situation which fulfills your needs. Many are the ways in which calls are answered. Each entity which calls does take part in the answering of the call by making the call, by desiring the answer, and by arranging the, shall we say, landscape of the inner being, so that the proper sequence or scene of events might be painted upon that landscape. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner. So, the more in harmony we are with the creation and with the Creator, the better landscape we provide for working with these entities? Latwii. I am Latwii. We perceive this statement to be basically correct, with the addition that at all times is each entity in harmony with the Creator. That variable which does change is the conscious awareness of this harmony and the ability to learn those lessons which have been provided in each opportunity. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner. One more question. Do you ever work with these entities in your service here on this planet to us? Latwii. I am Latwii, and am quite happy to answer that. At this time, we do so. Questioner. Thank you. Latwii. We are most grateful to you as well. Is there another question at this time? Questioner. Yes, I've read a lot in the last few months, and it's been very inspirational. And in fact, sometimes it's given me a sense of real joy and bliss. And my question is, should I try to share this? At this point, I don't really know anybody who's got a very listening ear, and I don't know whether I have any responsibility in this respect. Latwii. I am Latwii, and am aware of your question, my sister. In this regard, may we say that the experiences which each entity, such as yourself, encounters, are those experiences which have been programmed by the self so that certain lessons might be learned for the evolution of the mind, the body, and the spirit of the entity. Part of this process of learning includes not only the evolution of the self, but at some point within that evolution, the radiating of this information, this inspiration, and this feeling of oneness to others. The sharing of such inspiration with other selves is that experience which then allows additional learning to become part of the experience of growth which each seeks. The sharing of this information does require a careful balancing, shall we say, for few are the entities you shall meet that will request that which you have to share that is of a spiritual nature. To share such information when it is not requested is not the most efficient type of service to provide. Therefore, as, shall we say, a simple guide, we might suggest the full experience of this illusion in the way which is most beneficial to your own growth and the natural flowing of this exuberance for life through your being when you feel the proper moment has presented itself to you. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner. In other words, unless there is a request or a fairly obvious opportunity, then I don't make any real outward attempt at sharing what I experience. Latwii. I am Latwii, and am aware of your query, my sister. To refine our previous statement, may we say that each moment in your existence is part of the one Creator, as is each entity. Each seeks union with the Creator. Each moment then does present an opportunity to make the self available, for the sharing of that which is most dear to the self with an other self is that which is most helpful to the growth of both. To become the evangelist which requests and requires the open ear and mind is that activity which shall prove to provide more results. To make the self available at each opportunity is most helpful, whether the opportunity be a simple smile, the granting of the right of way at one of your intersections, the listening to the sorrows of a friend or stranger, the sharing of your deepest insights, or the offering of a simple piece of advice when asked for. Each is an opportunity to share that which is the love and compassion for the self, and each that the self will meet. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner. No, that's an excellent answer. Thank you very much. Latwii. I am Latwii. We thank you. Is there another question at this time? Questioner. I have a question. It's mostly out of curiosity. What causes and what are actually deja vu experiences? Latwii. I am Latwii, and am aware of your question, my sister. Each entity upon your planet, as we have said many times, is a part of the fabric of the one creation and the one Creator. And by their very nature, therefore, have the ability to become aware of other parts of the creation. Within your third density illusion, the forgetting is in sway. And this unity with the creation is, shall we say, a more foggy part of your being. There are times, however, as the rhythms of your being change frequency, that you may become aware of a possibility which does exist for what you would describe as a future occurrence. This is one of many possibilities. Each entity does have such insights, shall we say, whether they be the dreams during sleep, daydreams in waking consciousness, or random thoughts floating through the mind. Most do not occur, for they are possibilities which were not taken, roads which were not traveled. There are, however, times when the thought, the daydream, the dream during sleep does coincide with that road which was taken in what is perceived to be the future. It is at such times that the entity then becomes aware that the previous conscious knowing has transpired. This you have called the deja vu experience. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner. Yeah, but on another subject. This is pretty much a personal question. I spoke in an earlier session of dreams, and I didn't ask this question. In such a dream, I spent time with an individual that I did not know, but it was on a one-to-one contact, and it would teach me lessons. And I was wondering if you could enlighten me on who that was. Latwii. I am Latwii, and am aware of your question, my sister. To speak specifically to your query would be, in our humble opinion, an infringement upon your free will. For the seeking of the solution to this riddle is of necessity for you at this time to accomplish through your own efforts. You have been quite successful in remembering these experiences. Your dreaming experience can be quite valuable if you wish it to be so. If you wish to return to this place and this entity, it is quite possible for you to do so, for the dreaming experience is one which offers a wider latitude, shall we say, for the entity which seeks to learn certain lessons. These lessons might be more difficult to experience within this third density illusion, and are more easily expressed and perceived in the state of consciousness which you have called the dreaming state. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner: No, you answered another question in answering the first question. Another question: When dealing with people at school, I'm trying hard to be myself around them, and in doing so, am getting rejected by many. I am at the point of quitting and not trying to work with them anymore. I'm having a hard time figuring out if that's right. Latwii: I am Latwii. We have listened to your description and assume that your question is whether you should proceed in one direction or another, and find that we cannot give this advice. For to travel your path for you is to remove the opportunities for growth that wait upon it for you. And this we do not feel to be a service at this time. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner: No, thank you. Latwii: I am Latwii. We are most grateful to you as well. Is there another question at this time? Questioner: When we see people that we know in dreams and deal with them, working out problems, are we actually speaking to that entity on a different plane, or is it just working out problems in our minds? Latwii: I am Latwii. My sister, may we say that each possibility which you have mentioned is indeed possible. The state of consciousness which you call the dream state, as we have mentioned before, does lend to the entity a greater scope of experience. Most often, the experience of the dream state does include realms beyond that which you might consider the normal range of being. These realms do include the conscious awareness of other selves, which you are in contact with during your daily existence. In such dreams, the work of experiencing the catalysts of this illusion might be more easily accomplished, and the conscious mind might therefore be apprised of those lessons which are most in need of concentrated effort. In many such dream experiences, the conscious mind is seeded with the necessary information which will allow the waking entity to experience those lessons which are, shall we say, pregnant within the being. The conscious mind, then so fertilized, shall we say, does provide the focus of attention in these areas by its very consideration of the dream and its possible meaning. The dream state is far more varied and, shall we say, multi-dimensional than it has been imagined by most of your peoples. To give an accurate description of what is possible within this dream state is, in our humble opinion, not possible, for the possibilities are infinite, since the conscious mind does not have its limiting perceptions to reduce the effectiveness of the learning, shall we say, during this dream state. May we answer you further, my sister? Questioner: No, thank you. Latwii: I am Latwii. We are most grateful to you as well. Is there another question at this time? Questioner: I read a book written by a psychic who talked about walk-ins, people who wanted to leave this earth. This is nothing personal, it doesn't apply to me. But people who wanted to leave this earth and beings who had something to accomplish and did not want to go through childhood would take their place and fill out their life and then go on to accomplish in this particular body. Have you heard of walk-ins? Latwii. I am Latwii and am aware of your question, my sister. This phenomenon which you have described as the walk-in is indeed that situation which has occurred upon your planet, but which is not usual, shall we say. The integration of the mind, the body, and the spirit in the evolutionary progress of union with the Creator is that process which is most necessary for each entity to accomplish upon this planet at this time. This process is most carefully watched over by those entities we have previously described as being the guides, the guardians, the angelic presences. There are rare occurrences in which an entity incarnates with many lessons to learn. The lessons are of such a nature that the integration of the mind, the body, and the spirit is not harmoniously achieved. Such an entity quite frequently upon your planet will then engage in that activity of which your peoples have called the taking of the life, or the suicide. For those entities which have faced the great difficulties in the learning of the lessons, and which have not been able to achieve a satisfactory integration of mind, body, and spirit, in which, in addition, do not have the desire to end their own existence, are those entities which then do make themselves available to beings or another entity to complete the life for them. Well, we do not get to hear the end of this question. The tape recording the session ends here, thus ending this very long but very wonderful session.
Go forth then, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one infinite Creator.